The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Regional Planning Commission meeting, February 17th, 2021.
Budget house is coming along pretty good. We're almost at the end of it. At least the end of the participation of Lee Senior. I'm getting tired of the whole thing that I was saying. Well, we've got the appraiser coming in this next week, so we're buttoning it up enough for them to, see what we've been doing. Okay, call the meeting to order. And Jason, would you lead us in the
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is the February 17th meeting of the Regional Planning Commission. And we'll go into public comments. Now, public comments during the Regional Planning Commission meeting will be for all matters, both on and off the agenda, and will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Commission reserves the right to reduce the time or limit the total amount of time allowed for public comment. Comments during this discussion items may not be accepted from the general public. The Commission may prohibit comment if the content of the comments are willfully disruptive to the meeting or by being slanderous, offensive, inflammatory, irrational, or amounting to personal attacks or interfering with the rights of other speakers. Persons are invited to submit comments in writing on the agenda items and or attend and make comments on the items of this commission meeting. And open it up for public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on numerous occasions I've requested this body use the county sound system at your meeting so that everyone can hear. To date, you're not doing that. There are those in this community, in this meeting, that can't hear everyone talk. During the meeting, if I can't understand what some of you are saying, I'm going to bring it up. You need to take that into account. The NRS allows that. You better read the open meeting law. You're not complying. Mr. Chairman, city curb gutter requirements are not being enforced by your building inspector. He is selectively enforcing the law under color of law. He is committing malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance. You need to terminate him because he's putting you in jeopardy, yet you're looking the other way. This has been noticed by this board, has been noticed numerous times by myself, and yet nothing's been done to date. We either have rules and regulations or we don't. This board cannot selectively enforce the city or county codes, and we need to address that. How many times have I got to bring it up? Mr. Chairman, planning member Carol McKenzie has yet to correct her non-ADA compliant sidewalk at her home in Lund. The LDS Church in Lund installed curb, gutter, and sidewalk just a short distance from her home, and they meet ADA federal requirements. The sidewalk runs parallel to State Highway 318. Years earlier, she helped adopt the codes and knows better. She needs to comply and resign. The laws pertain to everybody. She's not exempt. Mr. Chairman, the Planning Commission in the city has yet not addressed the city code violations by previous and present members of the Planning Commission, as well as some of the city councilmen and county commission. Again, they need to comply with city codes that they have adopted or formulated or resign. You can't have selective enforcement. The city of Ely, White Pine County cannot continue selectively enforcing law. They have to be compliant with federal law. In particular, the Age Discrimination Act of 1975, the Americans with Disability Act of 1990, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VI. Again, no answer from you yet, Mr. Chairman, I need that. I brought before you numerous violations: Jim Allworth, Avenue I, got water, no home occupation, no special use permit. Again, another location, same situation. The gentleman was the manager of the city, now he sits as a city councilman. Again, we either have rules and regulations that pertain to everybody, or they pertain to nobody. Mr. Chairman, I reported more than once the new parking lot design at the convention center does not meet ADA requirements. Again, nothing has been addressed. At what point are we gonna address that?
Okay, 3 minutes is up, thank you.
I need some answers, sir.
Okay, on to item A.
Any other public comment before we move on? Sorry, John, we're
I
good.
wasn't seeing anybody holding toward the microphone, so. Okay, approval of an application for home and occupation agreement, applicant Carol Burdick, DBA North Shell Park Services.
Really the main reason for my home occupation agreement that I need is I just had a mailing address in the city and I did a business license, city business license, and I'm not gonna be conducting any business in my house. Like I say, it's a mobile welding rig, so I'm welding off my truck. There'll be no public in or out of my house related to my business. All my business will be conducted at the job site where I work, so. I'm not really here to argue it, I'm just here to say, you know, I need to have these inspections and stuff performed on my house, just because of not having any business conducted at my house. So,
I guess the standard questions, Cole, is, okay, first of all, congratulations on your business. We're always excited to see new people, especially people that have from here come and keep things going. So congratulations to you. I guess the standard questions we give to everybody is hazardous chemicals, anything like that that's going to cause an issue, or those aren't going to be stored at your facility at all.
you know, I just have some gas cylinders.
Okay.
I got oxygen, acetylene, and argon and CO2 mix, and
Yeah, those are going to be some smaller bottles, I'm sure. They're probably going to be mostly on your welding truck. Then, is that
yes,
right?
they're gonna be on my welding truck.
Okay.
There's nothing stored in the building or in the garage, it's all on my truck.
All right. I have no questions.
Yeah.
No questions here.
Sounds good.
Okay, all approved, or sorry, already, motion to approve?
Motion approved, any seconds?
I'll second.
Okay, we had a motion to approve from Jason and a second from Brad. And all those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you. Good luck in your business. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, item B. Approval of parcel map to merge and re-subdivide the parcels. Subject property is 1/4 section northeast, section 14, township 15 north range, 63 east. General location of property is 302 Rodeo Drive, APN 010-460-30, Ely, Nevada. Purpose is to divide the parcel. Applicants are Kevin D. and Patricia Warren. Okay?
Good evening, I'm George, the city director. The entire purpose of this parcel map is to create 2 more building lots. I believe the owners are selling to a contractor, and he's planning on building 1 or 2 houses here. He has plans to build a couple other ones up the road. He's still got a
Can't hear you, Buzz. Sorry.
Could you speak up a little bit? Thanks.
Yeah, it's the entire process here, he's just creating two additional building lots on this lot.
Okay.
They meet the zoning requirement for acreage.
This is, from what I understand, is just, I guess, north of the railroad tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just across from the Bath lumber yard.
Right, which is on the other side of the tracks then, okay.
Mhm.
I don't see,
I'm curious, I looked it up and, maps, there's Rodeo Lane, not Rodeo Drive. Is it lane or drive?
I've seen both.
Okay.
okay.
I was looking it up, I went under Rodeo Drive and it wasn't listed, so it popped up, Rodeo Lane.
Right.
But, okay,
Yeah, that's kind of what I found also on Rodeo Lane, but I listed on the map.
Thanks for it.
I didn't see that it really impacted anything, really.
These are all gonna be on separate wells then, is that right?
I imagine they're large enough lots where that is gonna be allowed.
Okay.
To do well and septic. As long as you're an acre of land, you're allowed on well and septic.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any more questions?
George?
We don't take questions from the audience during the
Not
meeting.
the same.
I got property in that area.
And so if the board has any more questions, now would be the time to ask, otherwise you can take action.
All right, well, I don't have any questions. I would go ahead and move to approve.
Any more questions?
the
Then-
process.
Shall I hear a motion?
That's good.
Motion to approve the process.
We have a motion approved from Leah, and Mayor second.
I'll second it.
Okay, Jason seconds. And for the reapportionment on this, for all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a few of those there.
Yeah, looks like it. You're busy.
Okay, and go to item C, approval of parcel map to divide the parcel. Subject property is 1/4 section 28, 33, 34, township 12 north, range 70 east. General location of the property is 500 Hidden Canyon Parkway, APN 012-540-01 in Baker, Nevada. Applicant is Walden Properties Joint Venture.
So the crouches on this parcel map, they're just creating this parcel number 2, 5-acre parcel. Their son is gonna be building a house on that parcel. I believe he's been going through some other issues with the building department, getting septic and other things lined up. This water system will come from their existing system out there, which is a quasi-municipal system, which gets inspected quarterly. And we'll be putting a septic in, obviously, but water system will come from their existing system they have on site.
Okay.
Yeah, I researched this and didn't see any issues with it at all. I don't have any questions at this time.
I read through it, I didn't see any issues either.
It also has a direct access on the existing driveway, it's no access issues either.
I did notice on the parcel map application checklist, I didn't see a check on the application for completed with notarized signature of owner or authorized agent. Is that on the?
It is included.
That's,
That was my check mark.
Okay.
I usually don't check it until I actually get my signature notarized.
okay,
Try not to just check blindly.
just double checking.
Thank you.
Okay. questions?
Yeah, this is pretty, what's that?
I'll
Oh,
second
okay.
that.
I have a comment as liaison. As far as looking at this on the last page, the road department makes a recommendation to approve, but it also says to add culverts for drainage in the borough ditches 8 feet wider than the access road.
On which parcel? On this one, or it's on the agenda currently?
So
Yes.
I apologize, but we can't, take comments out of order of the meeting. And so the board can either move to approve, move to table, but we have the comment period at the beginning of the meeting and at the end of the period, end of the meeting, and we can't have comments in between.
I was acting as the liaison so far as.
Right, and I understand, but
Okay,
just for
that,
purposes of.
no,
the
that's fine.
meeting.
No, it's not.
They're currently, with their access points coming off that road, they're constructing a bridge right now.
Which page was that referencing to?
Which one?
It's on your findings of facts.
It's on the third or second page of the findings of facts, the first,
Oh, okay,
right after your yellow page, the second page in.
alright. Okay.
It sounds like this issue's been taken
So
care
it's
of.
been addressed?
I think it's a blanket statement, I've seen from the road department, if you're creating a new access off of their road, they like to see a culvert across that. In this case, right off the road is a creek, so they're building a bridge on top of the creek.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Let's go to. I don't have any other questions. Did you?
I will keep my motion to
Okay,
approve.
Brad moved to approve. I'll go ahead and second
I
that.
will take the second.
Reed, second, okay.
Okay, you're seconding?
Yeah, I did
So
second it.
Brad moves to approve and Carol seconds. Okay, in this case, all those in favor,
I
say aye. Aye. Opposed? It passes.
Thank you.
We need to pause for a minute.
Hmm?
We need to pause for a minute. Sorry, I had 3 bars on my battery, now I have one. Somebody to second the beat.
Okay. And I take it we're on to item D. Approval of a parcel map to divide parcel subject property is 1/4 section southwest 16, northwest 21, section 16 and 21 township 12 north, range 62 east. General location of the property is 150 west 12th North Street, APN 013-053-2 in Lund, Nevada. Applicant is Rosevear, Thomas E. Trust.
Parcel one has an existing residence on it, and the purpose is just to separate that parcel off of the agricultural land. No other development anticipated.
And again, Buzz, we're looking at the last statement on there of adding the culvert and the ditch and all that.
Yeah, this isn't the new residence.
You're right.
It's already there.
Okay.
It's been there for years.
Well, if the culvert's there, again, I'll move that we accept the.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and second that. I don't have any questions.
Okay. No question, okay. It is moved by Brad to approve, seconded by Leah. And all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Buzz, are you, with the last agenda item also?
Yes.
Is there a representative for the White Pine Power here? Nobody. Okay. Mr. Chairman, would you mind, since if Buzz is on the last one, and can we skip it? Can we leapfrog and go from, put this next agenda item on the last agenda? So, because if we talk about this in a little bit more detail, I would hate to keep our guests here that come from Baker.
Great
Yeah.
suggestion.
And in regards to the pump storage facility?
Yes, so what I'm gonna recommend is just taking, agenda item,
E,
E, and switching it with F. right now.
okay. Okay, that's fine with me. Okay, so we will go to, in reverse order, approval recommendation, of Rutland County Commission on petition vacation of abandonment of road or easement. Property that the person would like to abandon, borders APN 005-117-04, is described as a 20-foot strip along the southerly boundary line of Lot 12, Block 14 of Elko Street, and a 10-foot strip along westerly boundary line, Lot 10, 11, 12, Block 14 of Savell Avenue, Baker Town Site, Baker, Nevada. Petitioner is Adriana I. Joy. Okay.
Obviously, we've had this on the agenda, and this last month was scheduling conflicts, so I apologize for that. I believe we've satisfied documentation, what you guys have been wanting to see from pictures, different exhibits. But I'm happy to try to answer any questions that the exhibits don't show.
And I do want to point out that I did get a handout that came in after I'd already done the packets and posted, just from the Baker and Water report, stating that there was no issue with that.
Correct. They
No
have a-
issues with utilities, yeah.
Yeah, they have a letter, and they've also shown their ads on that as well. Those are outside of the fenced area.
So,
Well, we've got a lot of paperwork on this. I think the only thing we had talked about last meeting was just what the resulting width of Saval would be if that 10 feet was,
Right, I'm not sure. I assume this is in your packet.
It is.
Yes.
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Not that one. There's another one. Probably towards the end of that.
Exhibit B,
I put all the new information in the front.
okay.
Okay, so that is, what you're, I wasn't here last meeting, Kristen, we didn't talk about it, but we're asking for exactly how much?
10 feet.
Okay,
So the resulting would be 40 feet
40,
wide,
correct.
okay.
I think in this case with all of the documentation that you guys have provided, I appreciate it, first of all. You know, obviously, it's kind of a touchy thing because you don't want that jog in that road. You want to try to keep things as straight as possible in there, but in this case, where a building was already built on it, it seems like the most logical thing to do to go ahead and approve this.
Yeah.
And, you know.
All the way down to, what was that next?
Well,
But I believe we can only approve this.
Just
We
one
can't
block
approve
versus
all
all.
of that, we'd have to, we're just approving for what they're asking for as far as their ownership goes.
Oh, okay.
If the other property owners wanted to do the same exact thing, then they would have to come do this, go through the same process, from what I understand.
Right, I think Andy, last meeting mentioned maybe what the builder and inspector, his ideas
Right.
were to
And
extend that.
I spoke to him about that, and he basically stated that, again, that's not something that we can do, because, you know, you can't speak for these other people.
Right,
They may not want that property, you know, it increases their taxes and stuff. And so basically, if they would want that, they would have to apply for it as well,
okay.
so.
The only other thing I looked up, the assessor shows that fence is built in 1926 or something like that, so this has been
This is better for
a 100-year encroachment on the right of way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was also additional information I put in your packets, showing when the properties were built.
I saw that, yeah.
And I did ask about the addition, and it also goes back to 1920s, which we know is not correct. So in talking with the assessor, they're guessing
90s or so.
like the 60s or 70s.
Oh, okay.
So,
And this is,
It's been there
I
for-
purchased this, I believe, in 92 or somewhere around there, and it was existing at that time.
Well, I commend her for trying to straighten it out. A lot of people would not,
Do that,
yeah, so.
I guess I'm satisfied, that was my biggest concern, was the utilities there.
Yeah,
That was my
that was our
biggest
big
concern, is not messing up the utilities, and, you know, it's just an unfortunate circumstances, the way things were built, it was just kind of, that's just the way it is, this is where we're putting our post at the time, so I think at this point, you know, I'll make a motion to approve this.
All right, I'll go ahead and second it. It'd be good to get this moving along. I'm sure they'll be happy about that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been motion to approve from Jason and approved by Leah. And all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, guys, appreciate all the work. No problem.
Finally, thank you very much for all the
No
work.
problem.
Okay. Now we shall go to approval of a conditional special use permit application by applicants White Pine Water Power LLC desires to develop White Pine Pump Storage Project, closed loop pumping, pump hydroelectric storage facility and associated transmission line on the property. Property location is approximately 5 miles northeast of Ely, APN 010-300-33. More detailed property description is included in the application.
And before you begin, board, if I may make a suggestion, this item is a little premature. We need to have a signature from a BLM representative. And so my suggestion to the board at this time would be for someone to move to table the item, and we will pick this up at a later point.
So moved.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
I just have a question. Was there a special county commission meeting set up on this for the next week?
Yes.
Okay. Will that negate anything we want to do?
We need the BLM signature before this board can act. As far as the relationship between what the county commission is doing, I don't think it would negate anything, but I would need to, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, I have major concerns, and I guess I'm kind of afraid this will be acted on without our input.
I do not believe so.
Okay.
If the commission is holding a meeting next week, will they make a final decision? And I'm a little bit in his direction, wondering if the commission makes a decision, does that stop us? Should we be to the meeting and do our comments, or I'm assuming we probably shouldn't, but how do we get our information in so the commission knows how we feel about it?
So, I mean, you could certainly do a public comment as anyone is entitled to. But again, my recommendation is that it would be better for this board not to act until the meeting. As far as the interplay between the two boards, I would need to research that further.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. So going into this, so hypothetically, if the BLM did have their signature and they came to us, what are we actually acting on as a conditional special use permit for this project? What is our play in this?
I mean, essentially, it would just be exactly what's in the agenda item. The applicant would be the White Pine Water Power and the pumped storage project. And so you would essentially be giving them a conditional special use permit, so a different use permit than what is currently allocated, if that makes sense.
Not really. I mean, I guess I'm a little confused by it. We're permitting them to research this project or permitting them to actually go forward on this project and as what they're presenting it as? Because, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with it too much tonight. Obviously, nobody's here to answer questions, but, you know, there's no site maps. There's absolutely no information. And I cannot see myself voting on something at all if the information to me is unpresented. I mean, there's not anything in this packet that tells me anything about the location, what it's affecting, the environmental impacts, I've got a list a mile long of questions that need to be addressed before I would even come close to
Yeah,
vote on
this is
something like this.
a super large project.
And I hope that the county commissioners are under the same impression I am, I hope to God.
So the
because-
impact that I saw was, of course, rerouting a section of that railway track line, moving it north, and okay, okay, do we have to do that? I mean, and what's it being replaced with? Is it being replaced with 90 pound or 40 pound?
Well, that's,
You know, stuff like that.
that's all questions. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a million questions in there that, and again, the research that I've done on a closed loop hydroelectric facility is, I mean, they are a great system if they are put at the right place and used in the right application, and you have these certain circumstances to make them work. If you have all of these things in play, water, if you have the land, if you have the amount of drop for the head pressure, all these wonderful things that have to come into play, then yes, it's a great system. It can work, but I have questions if it's going to work here, and I have very much doubts of that. So I say table it.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I'm under the concern, I don't want this bypassed with us in any shape or form. If it is, then what are we doing here?
If
That's
we're gonna
my
table it,
question.
we still have concerns. Could we voice those concerns now before it's tabled?
Right, and I know we're independent, but ultimately, it is the.
Because I've been getting calls from other citizens about this project they have concerns about. And I have a list of notes that I've been taking with these phone calls about these big concerns. So could those be expressed now so they're on the record?
I, again, would recommend that you table it, and given everything that's been said here, it sounds like there's a lot of questions in addition to the reason I'm recommending you table it. You can table it and bring it forth on the next agenda. Regarding your other concerns, the district attorney's office will look into that and figure out the best way for you to be able to express those if that is not at the meeting. As Leah stated, this is an advisory board. Ultimately, your decision today could be appealed to the commission. But for today, I would recommend you move to table.
Okay.
The only one thing is we are not an advisory board.
I misspoke. They are, I can't think of the word right now, but yes, I understand what you mean.
I just wanted to clarify.
And of course, you don't have to take my advice, this is just my advice.
No, I totally agree with your advice on there. It's just that, I guess my concern were that, we're not being bypassed by any shape or form and being pushed through without our concerns on there. So, I don't have a problem tabling this. In fact, I'll make a motion
We
to
need more
table.
information and representation from everyone concerned.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to table this.
Okay,
I'll go ahead and take that.
okay, Jason moves to table this, and Leah moves to second. And all those in favor of tabling this, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is tabled. Okay. to discussion only regarding building codes. City of Ely, Lycoming County.
I don't have anything. Nobody's addressed anything to me. So,
Okay. I was curious, there been any input on situations as building codes and so forth concerning tiny home construction on some of the properties?
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Take your mask down so George can hear you.
But,
Take your mask down so George can hear you.
Or just
Okay.
speak a little louder.
Yeah.
okay, I mean, any questions as far as building codes and so forth, and any concerns with tiny home construction and so forth on smaller properties?
Not yet, that I'm aware of, but it's hard to get any, I'm gonna share with you, it's hard to get a contractor to come in here to do anything. So,
Yeah,
they'll be addressed, if I get someone that wants to buy property to put tiny homes on, I will bring them to the planning commission so they understand the issues. And I will work with the building commission, or the city inspector,
yeah.
because there are ways of having those pass inspection also.
Yes, I would like to see because of our housing situation here in Ely.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Price of lumber has gone up, what, 30%, and it's not just Bath lumber,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the
It's
whole nation,
everywhere.
so that doesn't help certainly.
What went up?
The price of lumber has skyrocketed,
Okay, you gotta speak up.
yeah.
Okay. And then we go to item H. Discussion for possible action, approval of minutes from Regional Planning Commission held January 20th, 2021. And
Carol, did you spell check it all?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
did you scan it,
Of
Carol?
course I did.
Of course you did.
Anyway, I already gave it to Jennifer, it's on page 3, and it's just clarification more than anything else of a statement. That's third line up from section F. Says Andy Bath asked where the road went. And I looked at that and went, okay. People could look at it and say, where the road lead, just because of, so anyway, Jennifer, to fix that.
We added the word to.
So it can lead to,
Okay.
just to satisfy me. Other than that, I found no errors in it, so I will make a motion to approve it as corrected.
You move to approve? Any seconds on approval?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's moved by Carol to approve, seconded by Jason. All those approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We move on to public comment. Public comment, of course, limited to 3 minutes.
For the record, Lori Carson, I just wanted to, this is a fairly new board and a lot of them have not had a lot of experience yet. With that said, when a special use permit comes across, there's, and maybe Mackenzie or one of the other DAs can help give some education to this, or even Jennifer. Under certain circumstances, sometimes you can request have conditions as part of your special use permit. We've done that in the past, whether it's road agreements, whether it's development agreements with the county, that type of stuff. When we had the SWIP, the online and the energy come through here, one of the special use conditions was to have them go ahead and have a road agreement with us. In case anything detrimental happened, it would be their responsibility to fix, this type of stuff. This is kind of a new deal even for me because FERC, the Federal Energy Regulation Commission, is the one that is heading this up, not BLM. BLM will be a cooperating agency, and I believe they will be doing their part so far as an EA. We did, back in September, have a first meeting as part of the FERC requirements and submit comments about what we're concerned about, and so they should be following that also. Another thing that I think was normally done in the past, and Carol, you can maybe comment on this, that when these approvals go through, that when there are conditions that are put under the finding of fact, that you can also make a motion to approve those, approve the, whatever the request is, with the recommendations of the road department or this, that, or the other. So that ensures that 5 years from now, when something doesn't happen or something comes back before this board, that it's in black and white so far as what you've approved. Not just, yes, you've approved the parcel, but you've also approved the recommended conditions that went along with the finding of facts. That's what those facts are there for. Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
it. Thank you.
Timing is excellent, Andy.
Oh, great, I love it.
You made it.
I'm sorry I'm late.
It's
That's what
okay.
matters.
Other comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item B, you didn't answer the question of how big those lots are. I'm within 300 feet of that property and I want to know. County code is a minimum of 2.5 acres. You're not going to stick to that, change it for everybody. I've been coming to meetings for years and I do not like the fact that you folks are circumventing the law when others before you turn other people in this community down. That's part of the reason we have the problem with housing that we do. Now it appears you're doing special favors. That's got to stop. Either we have rules and regulations or we don't. On the item regarding the pump storage station, you just remember you guys are on the clock. Once they apply, they deserve an answer within a given period of time. That pertains to everybody. Adrian Joy started back in November. Here we are in February. Are you gonna allow everybody to draw out the time limit? Again, do we have rules and regulations or we don't? Mr. Chairman, the new marijuana dispensary Curaleaf is open now. The sidewalk on 10th Street alongside the business is blocked by rocks, boulders, and a tree or shrub. Sidewalk is not ADA compliant, and the rocks, boulder, greenery is located on the sidewalk right away, which impedes foot traffic that goes in a wheelchair. This goes back to August of last year. You haven't addressed that. Here's a picture. You might want to look at it yourselves. Mr. Chairman, I brought before you on numerous occasions Keith Carson's allowed an RV and is renting a trailer space in his, an RV in his trailer park, which is not allowed. I received a citation. I had to remove people from my properties. Again, you guys are selectively enforcing the law. Either we have rules and regulations or we don't. You people are in a liability. I am not going to continue losing revenue when you're looking the other way for everybody else. Mr. Chairman, numerous city council, utility board meetings, let alone the planning commission meetings, I've reported that numerous RVs, possibly squatters, were setting up throughout the city. Again, how many special use permits have you issued? How many of them are built for landfill, water, or sewer? Again, rules. It seems like one family in particular, mine, is being targeted. May 2nd, 2019, I had to remove people. Again, you either have rules and regulations or you don't. I want some answers, Mr. Chairman. I don't like discrimination. Did I mention that?
Do we have any other public comments?
Can I just respond real quick? There's a process that you can go through, and it's not through our commission. Have you tried writing letters of complaints to the city office?
Why don't you come to the meetings and see what I do? I've been ignored. Part of those rules that you folks have established are what they're working on, or have worked on, or are working on. Those have not been changed. You have an obligation when you want on this board. You're not addressing it.
Okay, if you really want to see results, I know there's a process, and you can submit your complaint letters directly to the town building.
I've done that, madam.
You have?
Yes. You might want to take the time and read the Nevada Open Meeting Law and what it allows an individual to do.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay, any more comments? Okay, with that in mind, we shall move to, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
All motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved by Jason, seconded by Brad. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
That was perfect timing.
I like that better, Andy.
You guys, if you're able to make it, that special commission meeting is a public meeting, and it'll be on Tuesday the 23rd, at 1:30, I think.
It is only 23rd.
The time though, is it
1 o'clock
1 o'clock?
here,
In this
in
room.
this room.
Yeah.
Lori, I'm not gonna be in town for that. Can I submit a written?
It might be good if somebody from the board was able to make it then, if maybe there was questions that they had. There's a special water meeting too, so far as their concerns, and that is going to be, I think, at 5 o'clock here on Monday. Tuesday is the special public hearing, and on Wednesday we'll have our regular county commission meeting.
I'm available for any of those, so can I submit a written?
You can submit written comments as an individual board member or just as a individual yourself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Absolutely.
Interesting, they never asked a question of the sound system, and I find out the sound system is gonna be in place here just about.
But I think the municipality is going to have some about that.
I guess,
So we're gonna hold our meeting.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no one here to answer that question. Exactly.
My concern is with this water system, it's got no representation for them. I got a lot of questions in my mind.
Yeah, there is.
We're gonna see if you
Yeah, we
go.
don't have
I
that.
appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah.
Had asked.
Andy, how are you?
Because this was not something that I thought was going to
I think
happen.
so. I just read another update right before I left today. I'm trying to update us, but it was basically like, didn't ship yesterday, didn't ship the day before, didn't ship the day before that.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting.